Hi there, YouTubers. I'm going to show you some Roman Spintria, naughty ancient Roman coins. And this video is not for anyone under 18, so please, no minors watching this video right after this. So this is my collection of Roman Spintria. These are copies made in China. They came in a set. You can usually find them on eBay. So they have an erotic scene on one side, and then the other side has a Roman numeral, and they go from 1 to 16. So Spintria, no one really knows what they were used for. You'll see them called brothel tokens quite often, but honestly, there's no evidence that they were used in brothels, including the fact that when they found most of these that they find in good condition come from Pompeii, but they never found any in any of the brothels. They mostly found them in bathhouses, and the fact that they have erotic scenes, I think, made people think that, oh yeah, those would be brothel tokens. But there's some legend, that it was illegal to pay for a prostitute with a coin that had the image of the emperor on it. And that might be true in a sense. I know that there's at least one person who was sentenced to death for that, that's recorded in ancient times. But the idea that you would buy one of these, pay for a encounter with one, and then it would be cashed in for money, would require a whole pretty much a whole sub economy, kind of like well, in Jerusalem, where you had to have clean money to go into the temple, so they had money changers in the front, and Jesus overturned the table and called them heretics. Well, I mean, there would have been the same system in Pompeii if you had to have one of these to go into a brothel. So there would have been places to trade these in and places to cash them out, and that infrastructure just did not exist. So these were never found in any brothels. In fact, they were mostly found in bathhouses, like I said. So a lot of people think that they were kind of like a hat check token. When you went into the bathhouse, there would be like a few boxes where you could put your belongings, your toga and your shoes, and then you would get a token like this that would show you which box your stuff was in. That makes a lot more sense to me. And the fact that they have an erotic scene on them is just a sign of the times. They were much less prudish about sex than this, the archaeologists who were digging this up. You had a real clash of cultures when they found Pompeii. You had a bunch of Victorian era, scientists who were digging up a pre-Christian, civilization who just did not see sex the same way that they did, and they had a hard time dealing with it. I mean, they even, things like this were hidden away. Some of the mosaics and things that they found with erotic scenes were covered up, even, covered with plaster and so on. And it's not until recent times that we started seeing some of the erotic items for the first time. So yeah, there is, also the idea that they could be game tokens of some kind. And they do also closely match other tokens that have the emperor on one side and the other side has Roman numerals, just like these. Why those were made is kind of a mystery as well, but they could have been part of some game that we don't know about, but you would think that they would have found some evidence of a game like that. So it's it's pretty unknown what they were for. But I think brothel token is certainly not the answer. And then, the name Spintria itself is, like I said, that's what they called a young male prostitute. And for years it was argued that all of these tokens, showed homosexual acts, though you can clearly see that they don't in most cases. In some cases you could maybe make that assumption, but most of them just show pretty heterosexual things. So there's a bunch of very prudish scientists trying to come up with a solution that made sense to them without thinking about what that would really what it would really take for these to have been brothel tokens. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. I think they're interesting. I thought it was worth picking up a set of these. I've always been fascinated by Pompeii, and these were only made in the 1st century. You never saw them again in Roman society, so it was a 1st century thing. They're very ancient. The only reason we have so many nice examples is that they were buried in ash for 2,000 years. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and please think about subscribing. Thanks for watching.